Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square with T-Square Talks. Hope everybody's having a great day. Got a great video planned out for you guys today. Hopefully the audio is a little bit better today. I had a fair amount of comments come in yesterday that told me to check the audio. It seemed like it was kind of having some trouble, and it sounded like, I don't know, like a robot or automated or something. It was really me doing the video. I'm not really 100% sure what that was. I called up someone and asked him, and he's like, you could have had two mics on, and it was kind of going back and forth between the two. But I apologize for that, and I thank anybody for leaving a comments that mentioned it. It's not meant... When someone leaves me a comment like that, I don't take it offensively unless they say something like, hey, you moron. I mean, other than that, I understand that, I'm not going to get any better at streaming the technical side if people don't give me their inputs on what will maybe make the channel better. As for that, I'm not, I guess you can say, I'm not a tech person anymore. I don't know much about it. I kind of just do the streams. I spend most of my time reading about what's going on in the economy, what's going on with the markets, and I follow a lot of different stuff, specifically gold and silver. And that's what we're going to talk about today, because I think gold, gold only $20 away from its all-time high, and not a lot of people talking about it in mainstream media yet. But I'm convinced as we make another new all-time high, who knows? We could start seeing a lot of momentum building up in gold, and it's just a matter of time before silver follows suit. So if you enjoyed today's video, please take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up button. It really helps me more than you know. I am trying to grow the channel, and your thumbs up, your hitting that subscribe button, your comments, they all help the algorithm. Even if it's a comment like, good morning, it still helps the algorithm more than you know. So with that being said, let's jump in and get started. And right off the bat, I want to take a look at gold, because gold is something I have been following today. I actually almost pulled the trigger and bought some gold today. Even though I think silver is the better buy, I wanted to see what the best deal I could find some 1/10-ounce gold coins for. And I really couldn't find any good deals that was just like, oh, I got to pull the trigger now for today's price, But I mean, do I think it's going to go higher? Yeah. So I guess you could say everything is a good deal, and maybe, but I'm kind of wondering if we won't see just a little bit of a pullback before the Fed meeting. It's going to be interesting to see how the Fed meeting plays out, because a lot of people, they're not expecting rate cuts, and all of a sudden, with Trump saying we need interest rates lower and this and that, he doesn't control the Fed, but he definitely, I'm going to say he has a little bit of pull. I mean, he can influence it, I guess you can say. So I'm curious to see how that's going to play out. And if they decide to cut interest rates, I would expect to see, inflation start climbing, but that's not the first thing we're going to see. The first thing we're going to see is gold and silver probably have a really good day. I haven't checked the DXY in a little while. Let me pull that up real quick. DXY. Let's see. Okay, so it's down a little bit. We're actually inching down. Remember, it wasn't too long ago, a couple weeks, we were up to 109, and silver wasn't really, wasn't really coming down. It was still inching up. So I'm curious to see what is going to happen. I would not be surprised to see just before the Fed meeting maybe another little spike up in the DXY to make the dollar look stronger. And then all of a sudden they come out and then they start talking about interest rates, the economy and stuff. And I think they're going to have some kind of a rate cut. I think that they understand that stuff's bad. It's not as good as you think. I was actually talking to someone today about a refinery, and the possibility they might be shutting the refinery down even, which was kind of interesting. I don't really know what's going to play out, but it is kind of interesting to see, is the economy bad? A lot of us know the economy is bad, but the markets, the world, the news, none of that is telling us that. But gold is a really good indicator. Take a look right here at gold. So gold in October, right there, the end of October, hit 27.90. Well, look at it today. We're only $19 off, $20 off roughly. I mean, that's a good sign that we're starting to pick up where we left off last year, and I think we're going to continue to climb. Now, what's interesting, silver hasn't really had that huge breakout. Now, has it been, inching its way up? Yes, very slowly though. And as you look at that, we'll look at a 1-year chart. But if I look at a 1-year chart, the problem with that is you're going to see last year's gains. See all these gains last year? But look at what we topped out silver at, basically $35. It was actually $35.01 or something last year, right around a week before gold topped. However, we still haven't really climbed yet. I would not be surprised to see a big move in gold and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, silver have that pump. We've talked time and time again that silver always follows gold. It never happens at the same time. It's kind of interesting to see how it plays out, but I believe a lot of that has to do with the rich people, the high ups. They understand what's going on in the economy. And most of them don't buy silver. Most of them are buying gold. Yeah, there might be a few people out there that are high ups and they understand what's going to happen with silver. But for the most part, how do you put a lot of money? If you've got millions and millions and millions of dollars, you can't really just start buying silver up, or you would cause a huge panic in the markets. And, they might get theirs, but they also might have a target on their back. We've talked about that before. A lot of people have the belief about the Hunt brothers, and look what happened to them. They tried cornering the market, and they paid dearly for it. Now, with gold, millions of dollars doesn't have that big of a move on gold. Gold is something that they're buying all over the world. So when you think about that, you got to think how much money is getting poured into gold right now to bring gold back up to almost its all-time high. Actually, I had someone call me today, and he said he hadn't been paying attention at all to it. And he said, what is it doing right now? When I told him, he's like, what? How come we haven't heard nothing? You're not going to hear nothing about it. In fact, the only time you're probably going to hear something about it is if we see a nice beat down. Let's just say gold lost $50 tomorrow. You would probably end up hearing it all over the news. Oh, gold tanked. Gold's not a good investment. Gold's coming down when everything else is going up. And then quietly, it would jump back up and you wouldn't hear nothing of it. And we've seen this time and time again. But ultimately, I think silver will be the big winner. I know a lot of people like gold. I like gold too. I found myself looking at it today, but I just couldn't pull the trigger on it. Why? Because I think depending on what happens in the Fed meeting and the couple days following prior to the Fed meeting, I think that's going to be our best opportunity. I would be shocked if they don't cut interest rates because they are under a lot of pressure. Here we were, with the previous administration, and we're bringing down interest rates, and then all of a sudden the new administration comes in and they're not doing it anymore. I mean, you look at what happened when Janet Yellen was on her way out. She made it a point to say, hey, we need to focus on the debt and we need to cut spending and all this. You know what? You were just there. How come y'all didn't do nothing when you were in there? And now everybody wants to talk about it. And I find that interesting. But we know why that is, a lot of us. And they're not going to say that on mainstream news because mainstream news, for the most part, is against the new administration. And I think they're going to be stuck in a hard place, really. And I don't want to make this video political, but I want you to understand what's going on right now is going to be hard on Americans. It's hard on the politicians right now because they've got to figure out how to make things look good in a world that's falling apart, essentially. And it's not just here. I mean, everywhere around the world, they're having trouble. I did a couple shorts a while back. China's having big sell-offs. And once you understand that, you understand it's just a matter of time before we see the real numbers. and I think they're right around the corner. So if you have an opportunity to stack, I would definitely be ready to pull the trigger. We may not see any kind of a dip. I don't know for sure. I'm just personally betting that we will see a little bit of a dip. And what do I expect for a dip? At this point, I probably would be happy just to see the spot price fall under 30 by even $30 spot price flat. But I think, with the way gold is moving up, I think that's going to be a tough to see a good pullback. I don't see a good pullback happening now. There's still a lot of people out there that are waiting for an entire market crash and $25 silver. And I love it when I get the emails or the comments and, ask me to give my thoughts on that. I mean, here's the thing. Yes, the economy could crash. But when the economy crashes, if the price starts to dip, a lot of stackers are going to be buying. There's going to be a lot of people that will be buying because they understand what's going on. And if it doesn't dip, what happens? The price keeps going up. And if it does dip and there is a big sell-off, who's going to be selling? I mean, I can't picture anybody selling at $25. I definitely can't picture anybody selling at $20. I mean, you would have to be a special person to think that it's a good idea to sell at $20. So who knows? We're going to see what happens. Keep your eyes on it. Keep your eyes on the markets. I will keep doing videos. I do them every day. And I'll let you guys know my thoughts on it. And you guys can let me know yours in the comments, what you're expecting. A little bit of a pullback. It ain't going to be huge. Like I said, I mean, before I wanted to actually be able to pick up silver at $30. Now, I don't see that in the cards. So, with that being said, thank you all for watching. I'm going to wrap up the video here. I don't want it to get too long. We're at 12 minutes. So, I thank everybody for watching. Hopefully, the sound is better. If it is, let me know that in your comment. That way I know, hey, okay, that was what it was, and I'll start checking for it every time. With that being said, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button, and I will see you guys again on T-Square Talk. Take care, everybody, and have a great day. Can't wait to see how the weeks play out.